All right, Math 9, here we go. Your short video on eliminating fractions. Let's get after it. So I showed in class and I showed in the other video two different methods, and I'll show that on this page as well because you can see I have two questions. Moving forward, I'm only going to use method 1 because it's my preferred method, but please feel free to use whichever one you prefer. So method 1 is we're just going to multiply everything by the lowest common denominator. And if you look at the denominators 3, 2, and 6, the lowest common denominator is 6. So identifying that is helpful. LCD is 6. Multiply by 6, multiply by 6, multiply by 6. And the reason why we do that is because if you are a multiple of the denominator, you will divide with the denominator. So here, well, 6 divided by 3 is just 2. So now we have 2 times 2 left. So you get 4x. And here 6 divided by 2 is 3. So you have 3 times 1, so plus 3. And 6 divided by 6 is 1, so we're just left with 5. And then it's the questions that we now find really easy. Minus 3, 4x equals 2, and then divide by 4, divide by 4. X equals 2 over 4, which equals 1 half. So method 1 is just multiplying by the lowest common denominator. Now, method 2 is getting a common denominator first. And you'll see that method 1 just sandwiches 2 steps into 1. So here, if you multiply by 2 and multiply by 2, and here you multiply by 3, multiply by 3, we make equivalent fractions. We get 4x over 6 plus 3 over 6 equals 5 over 6. So now you have a common denominator. Once you have that, you do the same step. You now multiply by that common denominator because cancel, cancel, cancel. And the thing here is, what are you left with? You're left with a 4x. Well, that's what we ended up with here. You're left with a 3. Well, that's what we ended up with here. And then you are left with a 5. And that's what we ended up with here. So what the equivalence does, this 2 times 2, that's this leftover number here on the left. And the 3 over 3, that's this leftover number here on the left. So method 1 kind of does it all in one step. But if you prefer method 2, go for it. I'm not going to finish this question because it's exactly the same as that one. But that's the difference between the two different methods. Moving forward in this video, I'm only going to use method 1. So what's my lowest common denominator? Lowest common multiple, it's 15. So I'm going to multiply everything by 15. Now I'll show this to you in another way, and then I'll show you why on the next one, why I prefer to do the division first. But remember, this is 15 over 1, which means you're multiplying by that, and then you're dividing by that. But the order doesn't really matter because just like we canceled factors in fractions, that's what we can do here. But if you multiply it first, you end up with 30x over 5 plus 15 over 3 equals 30 over 15. And then you have to do your division. So 30 divided by 5 is 6, 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 30 divided by 15 is 2. But if you do the division first, 15 divided by 5, you're left with a factor of 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 15 divided by 15 is 1, and you're just left with the 2. I like to do the division first because it keeps my numbers small. I don't have to multiply things, get big numbers just to divide them out. So I like to do my division first. So again, that's also what I'm going to be doing moving forward. So let's finish this question up. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Now I get 6x equals negative 3. Divide both sides by 6, and again, coincidentally, I end up with a half, except this time it's negative. Let's do another. So here I got multiple fractions. Well, that's fine. My lowest common denominator in this case is 12. So I'm going to multiply by 12, I'm going to multiply by 12, I'm going to multiply by 12, and I'm going to multiply by 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4, so I have negative 4 times 2 is negative 8x. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 times negative, oh, there's an x there. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. And now x's together, non-x's together. So minus 2x, and then let's go minus 9, because that gets rid of that one, gets rid of that one. So negative 10x equals negative 39. Divide by negative 10, divide by negative 10. X equals 39 over 10. Negatives cancel, 10s cancel, negatives cancel. Another one. Now here's an area where people make some mistakes, so please, please, please don't make this mistake. This is not a fraction, but it doesn't mean it's exempt from multiplying by the lowest common denominator, because it can be written as a fraction, -1/1. So all I'm saying, do not forget to multiply that as well. Here, my lowest common denominator is 8. So I'm going to multiply by 8, multiply by 8, multiply by 8, and yes, multiply by 8. Don't forget that one. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10x. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so we're just left with 3x, and then, yep, minus 8. That is where most people screw up. Do not miss that. So now x is together, non-x is together, minus 3x, and then at the same time, we'll go plus 4. Makes that 0, perfect. 7x equals -4. Divide by 7, x equals -4/7. Yes. Okay, so don't forget that. Very important. So that's getting rid of multiple fractions. We got one more video on putting everything together, but we're getting up that staircase. So keep practicing these. They take lots of practice. And remember, if you prefer method 2, stick with method 2 until you're comfortable. Awesome.